The medical station on Yellera 5 was built for emergencies, not for hope. Perched on the windswept cliffs above the acidic jungles, its metal walls shuddered every time the gales screamed in from the Yellow Sea. 3 years ago, she'd answered the job posting because she needed to get away from Earth. From memories that chased her in every mirror, from the ache of loss that had hollowed her out. "It's just for a year," she'd told her brother, before she left the little apartment in New Boston. "I'll patch up some miners, pay off my loans, get some air. I'll be back before you know it." The outpost was supposed to be a way station, a safe stopover for the mining fleets and trading convoys that threaded the stormy void between the core and the frontier. Static blurred the words, but the signature was unmistakable. A Xylan ship, alien and strange, carrying a crew known for avoiding humans at all costs. The crew 4 Xylan, long-limbed and silver-eyed, staggered out, cradling one of their own. Blood blew as the yellowy sea spattered the deck. Lian knelt beside the wounded alien, scanning the injuries. Multiple lacerations, internal bleeding, oxygen levels plummeting. Xylan biology was a labyrinth, organs in places no Earth med school ever taught, immune systems that went wild at the wrong antibiotic. She improvised, splicing together what she knew with what she could guess. She talked to the patient as she worked, explaining every move, even when she wasn't sure if he understood. "Doesn't matter what species. You bleed, I fix it. You cry, I listen. You need help, I give it." She held the Xylan's hand when the pain grew unbearable, humming a lullaby her mother sang to her back on Earth. Lian was shocked. The Xylan were legendary for their suspicion, their coldness, and the strange way their bodies reacted to human drugs. Their voices hissed in their native tongue, words Lian had studied, though she'd never spoken them out loud. "They are not enemies. They're people in pain. I don't treat politics. I treat patients." "Why?" Lian rationed her own food and medicine, keeping spirits up by singing, telling stories, and sharing the little she had left. Even the mining bots, inspired by some strange twist of programming, began running errands for her, fetching water, carrying messages, shielding windows from the worst of the wind. Lian worked without sleep, refusing to give up even when the lights failed and the council sent another warning. She stabilized the miner, then helped an old Yellari grandmother deliver twins, then patched up a wounded Xylan child. "Why do you help us?" one finally asked, his mandibles twitching. The commando lowered his gun and walked away. New alliances formed, born of compassion instead of fear. Even the Xylan homeworld sent a delegation, offering friendship and aid for the first time in memory. She hadn't saved anyone with guns or ships or power. She'd just shown the galaxy that kindness could be fiercer than war, and compassion could spark a legend all its own.
Ow.
But the call was desperate. She donned her battered med pack and rushed to the landing bay. But after the most recent council decree, a trade embargo against unstable sectors traffic had vanished. Only the desperate, the dying, and the forgotten still came. "Council law forbids aiding enemies," the captain sneered. "You will surrender your patients or face arrest." Each night she recorded a small memory, the way the moons rose in tandem, the green flash of the aurora in the jungle, the voice of her brother on old messages she replayed just to hear someone laugh. Then, silently, he offered her a small data crystal, the Xylan symbol for gratitude. She treated every wound, no matter how small. She remembered the names of every miner, every Yellari child who braved the wind to bring her rare medicines. Lian received a message from Earth, her brother's voice, proud and warm. "You saved a sector, Lian. You made them remember what it means to be human." Within days, more ships began landing, Yellari first, then desperate miners, even a few traders who'd sworn off the outpost for good. They brought wounds, diseases, fevers, and broken spirits. Lian treated them all, never asking for payment, never turning anyone away. Dr. Lian Orlov was the last human left on Yellera 5. She hadn't planned it that way, but the galaxy had a way of swallowing plans. The other doctors had rotated out, unable to stand the loneliness or the howling wind. The technicians went next, replaced by half-broken bots that worked when they felt like it. The local Yellari, small and amphibian, avoided the station, seeing it as a cursed place ever since a council squad had accidentally bombed a supply run. Lian patched up the wounded anyway, working by headlamp in touch, learning to read the patterns of the storm by the ache in her bones. She'd started keeping a log, not for the council, but for herself. One night, as the wind shrieked louder than usual, the outpost come lit up with a distress call. The ship was damaged, scorched black by weapons fire. The other Xylan watched with guarded suspicion as she worked. She barely glanced up from the wound because you called, because you're hurt, because that's what a doctor does. She worked through the night, hands steady, even when her heart raced. At dawn, exhausted, Lian finished the last suture and stepped back. The Xylan patient lived. Their leader, a tall figure with black bands on his arms, approached her. You risked much. She met his gaze, tired but unflinching. There's an oath. For a moment, he stared at her, as if trying to solve a puzzle. News of her acts spread. Then the council returned. A warship hovered over the outpost, its captain demanding Lian hand over any Xylan refugees. Lian refused. She stood in front of the medbay, her body between the wounded and the soldiers. The standoff grew tense. The council soldiers threatened her, locked down the station, and cut off supplies. The wounded worsened. Word spread through the sector. Other doctors sent supplies in secret. Ilarian Xylan set up patrols to keep council eyes away. One night, as a cyclone battered the station, a miner collapsed in the bay, fever burning, lungs full of dust. She started to believe she could keep going forever until a council commando broke through the door, gun raised, demanding she stop. Lian stood tall, eyes blazing. Shoot if you must, but you'll have to go through me. The commando hesitated. He saw the patience behind her human Xylan, Yalariel, looking at Lian as if she was something rare and beautiful. The blockade broke soon after. The council, fearing the optics of a medic standing up to armed soldiers, withdrew. The outpost survived. Lian became a legend. Her story spread far beyond Yalara 5. Other doctors followed her example, refusing to turn away the wounded, no matter what flag they flew. Years later, as she looked out over the cliffs, watching new ships arrive under the swirling aurora, she smiled, wiping away a tear. And as long as someone, somewhere, is willing to answer a call for help, no matter who it came from, humanity would never be forgotten.